You have found the Jordy Culotta Show right here on YouTube. We go live Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. on the campus of Click Here Digital in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we serve up premium LSU content. Hard-hitting guests, opinions that you can find Monday through Friday. If you want that, subscribe right here on the link that you see below. Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you.
Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification. We about to go live. We got all your favorite guests. We got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show.
And
Come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question. I thought, my gosh, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live. Open up the phone lines. Come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right.
Big start. Big day.
Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Thank you for the time. What did we take away from Saturday? First and foremost, last week we were, I think, joining the crowd of people wondering where are all of the players that we heard about in the buildup of the season? Where are guys like Chris Hilton? And Chris Hilton comes out very early and gets a target where he's 5-6 yards behind the defensive back, makes a really good catch with his hands over the top of the defense for his first touchdown of the year. Like we were screaming into this microphone last week, I would do that once a game. I would do that once a half to back up the defense out of the box against LSU. Where was Denver Harris? Denver Harris got some run very early on. Now I think everybody is looking at Denver Harris's play, and you say, well, he gave up a touchdown and he was called for a personal foul. Agreed. There were some moments that Denver Harris would like to have back. These are not excuses, but we cannot forget that was the first time that Denver Harris had been on a football field in just about a year, in nearly a year. And whether it was the competition, whether it was the first time being out there, whatever it was, there was some time of, you needed to kind of catch your feet, kind of get everything underneath you and making sure, that you knew what was going on. But after the touchdown that he gave up and after the interception, I got to be honest, I liked what I saw from Denver Harris. I thought that he competed. He was around the ball. Even the touchdown that he gave up, he was in really good position. And if I'm being completely honest, I was thoroughly impressed with Grambling's quarterback, Miles Crawley. That guy was throwing dimes. The touchdown pass being a great example of that. I mean, that ball was placed in a spot where only Kellen Elder, I believe, made the touchdown grab, was the one who could haul it in. Or excuse me, that was J.R. Waters for Grambling who made the catch. But Miles Crawley, the quarterback for Grambling, was very impressive. And you started to see some of these guys that we were wondering, where are they? We saw Lance Hurd, like we talked about, still looking for Quincy Wiggins. Like, still looking for Big 93.
And Savion, I'd like to see.
I'd like to see a little more out of Savion.
That's what I'm saying. I know he's playing, but I would like to see him.
Yeah.
Feel him.
Not getting enough.
But the biggest takeaway and the biggest concern has to be the defense, right? Like the defense, the first 3 drives of the game for LSU defensively was alarming. I mean, like the missed tackles, the out of position, the defensive backs being,
15 yards off the ball.
I thought, like, really, I kind of had to, like, scrub my eyes. Like, I was like, what am I looking at? Like, LSU being 15, 12, 10 yards off the ball at the defensive back spot is just, it is a sight that it's like seeing Bigfoot. I mean, it's like watching LSU in cover 3 that far off the ball like that it's amazing. I mean, like I was on X during the game or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I mean, there was like recruits that were like, what are they playing? I saw Jawan Johnson was like, play press, all caps. You know, it's like, I mean, like, they're even like, what's going on?
We want to press, coach.
Like, step up and defend these guys, compete, challenge this group. I mean, it is, when you look at some of the deficiencies on defense, you thought low-hanging fruit you get fixed. Mason Smith comes back in. He plugs a couple of holes in the middle, which he played a lot on Saturday. You thought you slide Harold Perkins out, which they did, put him in a pass rush situation, and his numbers would improve, and he'd get pressure on the quarterback. He was back there, just couldn't close. He made one good, nice, aggressive, open field tackle. But watching the defensive backs play, see, that's the part that is so concerning about LSU, where there's some things that you knew you could fix immediately. Like you get Mason Smith back, that helps you. You can move Harold Perkins around and probably put him in the right spot. It looks like you got an issue at linebacker now with personnel. Because for 2 straight weeks, number one, Omar Speights has been underwhelming. He has looked a step and a half slow out there. He has looked as if the speed of this change, even though they have not played a conference game yet,
one tackle
is maybe a lot for him up to this point. I just evaluating what you've seen through 2 games, the linebacking personnel is not exactly what at least I believed going into the season that it was going to be.
And there's no way to fix it.
And so, like, that's another issue again that you're talking about. I don't know how you fix that. I mean, there's no
personnel.
There's no free agency pool. There's no waiver wire. There's nothing that you can jump into and try and, shop talent. You have to play with the hand that you got at this point. And after Spates, you got true freshmen. You got Whit Weeks. You got guys that necessarily don't play that position, right? I mean, so when I look at linebacker and I look at defensive back on LSU's team, they're in a bad spot. They're in a tough spot. And I think, you look at the origin of it, and it's based in recruiting. Recruiting is the ultimate issue, where you have missed on guys like Desmond Ricks. You think about a guy like Desmond Ricks, who just immediately is an example that you can point to and say the number 1 cornerback in the country, who was all LSU throughout the entire recruiting process, and even when he puts the Alabama hat on, nearly pledges to LSU because of how close it was, but you miss at the end. I mean, guys like that are misses that have happened over the last couple of cycles that are really showing on the field on Saturdays. So ultimately, this is a recruiting discussion. But when you look at what's happening on the field in the 2023 edition, I just don't know how you fix it. I mean, I don't, unless the play improves vastly, which getting Denver Harris on the field, I think will make a marketable improvement. But when you look around at that position, you just have to be curious on if this is the selection, or these are the horses that you take to the fight. I mean, I'm a second week into college football just like everybody else. I'm looking around and watching who LSU plays. Nobody, while being, like monumentally fearful of somebody that you match up against, you still look at the options that teams have, like Texas A&M and Arkansas and Alabama and Ole Miss and even Mississippi State of guys that they're going to have to guard this weekend, and I don't know if LSU has any advantage. And I'm just being realistic. I mean, I watch teams play. Texas A&M's got 3 wide receivers that are going to be tough to guard. Ole Miss has got a wide receiver core that is going to be really tough to guard. Arkansas's got a couple of guys that can run and run good routes, and KJ Jefferson is a quarterback through the first 2 weeks who looks really good. Alabama's got a crew that can run. I mean, it's not the 2019 wide receiver core. It's not even the 2020 wide receiver group. But it's a okay group when you look at LSU's defensive backs that you say, I don't know where LSU has the advantage.
Thanks for tuning in to our premium LSU content right here on YouTube. If you want more of it, subscribe below.